A very good afternoon to you, Ashley. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Could decriminalisation work?
Good evening to you. I'm from the Cape Town Drug Counselling Centre, and our stance really is that decriminalisation of any form of substances is counterproductive. Would it work? There are various speculations, various opinions around it. It may reduce the amount of power drug dealers or drug lords have, but would it stop it? Is it going to be enough? Is it something that we could say that would make a difference meaningfully? Our focus is on treatment and helping the end user that receives that substance, and that is what we give the most of our attention to.
I guess the argument is, and we have seen it in other countries where drug use can become more controlled and regulated, say in places like Holland, but then of course you need the resources to make sure that that's managed correctly.
Correct, yeah, and the infrastructure that goes along with that is something that, although our government is doing a huge amount to do something about the challenges that we are faced with, the infrastructure is really not in place to be able to manage what would come after such a passing of an act that would decriminalise any substance. There may be measures of control, as he suggested, but for us at the Cape Town Drug Counselling Centre, our focus is to help those that are going to be caught being involved with substances of any kind, and their challenge is how to get off from it or how to steer away from it. Having it decriminalised will increase the use of it, especially among adolescents that are so perceptive to these kinds of opportunities that comes available.
What about dagga, Ashley? Because some argue that the police should not be focusing on that, not using resources to catch people using dagga, but rather the more heavy drugs. You also have professionals who are caught using dagga, and it puts them in a very difficult position.
Yeah, again, our focus as the Cape Town Drug Counselling is not to deal with the criminal aspects of the substance. Our focus is to give all direction and input or advice and assistance to those that are found using the substance and wanting to get off from it. So yeah, we do find that there is an increase of adolescents using substances, and the danger to us is that they are starting with harder substances at a younger age, and that is something that we really should be looking at.
How do they start?
It's an array of various situations or circumstances. It could be just the community or the peers that they hang out with, could be a social environment, it could be challenges that they are facing, socio-economic ills. The spectrum is huge. It's not a matter of how they start, it is what to do about when they have started and help them to get off or away from it before it gets too heavy.
We are hearing that, I mean, if it's available on every street corner in some of these areas, I guess it takes a very strong child to resist that availability, resist the peer pressure and everything that goes around that.
Yeah, I fear to admit, to agreeing with what you're saying, the challenges within our communities, especially in the poorer communities, and not that is the only place where substances are rife. It does not discriminate against which community chooses to get active in. It goes across any community. However, those that have fewer structures in place or resources to be able to be involved in other activities that will deter their attention from the use of substance are few in between in our communities. Look at Hanover Park, Mitchell's Plain, Manenberg. There are very, very, very few resources or extramural activities or available facilities where they can go to in many ways deter from substance use or abuse.
All right, thank you very much for your time, and we support what you do. Ashley Potts from the Cape Town Drug Counselling Centre.
News that moves. eNCA.com.